Alright, so I've finished tumbling and polishing and dyeing the multidodecahedron. This is a Ben's copy. It was a bad print. These are the pieces. This is a Brilic edge. This is the penultimate center with the hole in it. Here is a Megaminx corner. You can see the issue that the print had was that one side of the Brilic edges were tight into the corners, and then the other side was pretty loose. And so I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's still the case that one side is relatively tight. There's still a little bit of friction there, and then the other side is still pretty loose. So I can go back and forth easily, quickly here, and then here I can't. There's still a little bit of friction, and based on a little bit of experience, I'd probably have to leave the Brilic edges in the tumbler for probably 2 or maybe 3 weeks in order to wear down this surface enough so that it wouldn't be tight. But now that the pieces are polished, the interaction is there's still friction, it's still tight, but I think that the puzzle's actually going to turn great even with that, especially if we get a little bit of like silicone lubrication in there. Because the pieces are polished, I've noticed that if I get both of these things wet, then you can really no longer feel the tight interaction, just because the water itself acts as a good lubricant when the nylon is smooth. And I think the silicone oil is going to do the same thing. So I've put that side in and it'll just fall out. But if I put the other side in, there's no amount of shaking is going to make that piece fall out. Here it is between two Megaminx corners, and one still goes and then the other one doesn't because of the tight side. And turn it around and show that again. Now see the other side goes. I think this is the best polishing job that I've done yet. I left these pieces in coarse grit for probably about 6 days, and to try to wear down the Brilic edges quickly, I also put a bunch of steel shot in with the coarse grit and glass beads, and that seems to have done a really good job. So I'm probably going to tumble all the puzzles with steel shot in addition to the coarse grit. And then I used my smooth steel shot and glass beads when I tumbled these in the fine grit, and this was probably in the fine grit for, I don't know, like 5 to 7 days. I didn't really keep track that well. And then it was polished in the porcelain spheres for another like 3 days or so, about 72 hours. And I think the pieces look great. Here's a penultimate corner. The penultimate corners are the least improved pieces of the whole bunch. And that has to do, I think that's a couple of factors. One, this is one of the lowest mass pieces, and one of the things that really wears down the pieces is the fact that, you know, gravity pulling down on the piece pushes it up against the coarse grit relatively well. And I'm compensating by putting the heavy glass beads and the steel shot has really helped pieces wear more evenly. The low mass pieces now wear at a similar speed to the high mass pieces, but still slower. And then also there's 3 small surfaces here, and so in the chances of this piece, all of its weight being pushed against just this small face is relatively low compared to, you know, it being pushed against, say, the side here or this side, or you know, maybe against the tip or whatever. And it has 3 faces that it needs to wear down. So it essentially wears down at around, each one of these faces wears down at around 1/3 the rate. Well, somewhere around 1/3 the rate of a big surface like this that you know, it's almost always in contact with something. So here's the center caps. I did not polish, so I tumbled these. This is the Megaminx center minus the center cap, and I did not polish the big centers in the porcelain spheres because I didn't want to deal with the spheres getting packed into that hole right there. It would take me a while to get them out. And then 2, there's no need, because this piece is not visible inside the puzzle because it has a cap to it, and I did tumble the caps with and so they still snap into place great. And then the caps are what are visible and get the sticker on them. And here's a Brilic, or excuse me, a StarMix Edge. I think the StarMix Edge pieces are one of the best looking pieces. They wore really nicely. This curve doesn't wear as evenly because, you know, there's only like one point at any given time that's actually in contact with anything big. But these points were just big enough, just heavy enough, and they only have the one big flat surface to wear, so that they look really good. So let me show you. There's the penultimate corner. So that's how those go together in the puzzle, just like you can see here on my multidodecahedron, center, point, corner. And then of course, as you saw before, oh, here's a Megaminx Edge. The sticker goes right there and right there. I don't know how easy it is to see in there, but this piece sits like that inside the puzzle, and so that blue sticker right there would be that piece, and then that brown sticker right there would be that side, and they go between the Megaminx corners. So they go like that in the puzzle, and their interaction is really great. So in general, this, like I said, this is the best polishing job that I've done yet. I learned a lot about the steel shot and the fine grit and the glass beads with this puzzle. I tumbled it longer than actually needed to be tumbled, just because I was trying to wear down the Brilic edges, and the porcelain spheres have done a great job. So I'm pretty sure this is going to turn great. I think it looks great, and I'm going to be doing all of my puzzles. You know, as I learn, I'll be doing all my puzzles more like this, and then as I learn from those, I'll probably be improving the process. But I find it unlikely that I'll be able to get anything looking quite this good, or, you know, better than this anyways. So thanks for watching.